When Derek and I settled into our sparkling new home, I truly believed we'd arrived. The perfect fresh beginning, blank walls, no noisy neighbors above, morning sun spilling across the breakfast nook. For years, I'd squeezed my work into a tiny apartment with a pull-out desk tucked in the bedroom corner, balancing UX deadlines alongside dirty dishes. Now, at last, I had a proper office, a guest room, and a kitchen island with plenty of space to unwind. Derek beamed with pride. He deserved to. The house was his creation from the foundation up. His construction company had built it, and he fussed over every brick and beam as if it were a sacred shrine. To him, it proved he could provide. To me, it was meant to be our haven. Their initial visit from his parents went smoothly enough. His dad offered a rigid remark about the quartz counters being too showy, and his mom picked apart my lighting picks like a TV design expert, but I brushed it off. I assumed they'd drop in occasionally, marvel at our setup, and head out. But soon it turned into every single Sunday. Oh, we happened to be nearby. It's simpler to eat here. Less mess for us. We brought pie. It was from the store and still iced over. The real kicker? They never even asked. They simply let themselves in, plopped down, and took charge. Glenn would crank sports on the living room TV like it was a bar full of fans. Sandra would hover on a kitchen stool and question how I flavored the chicken. No garlic powder, she inquired, staring at me as if I'd confessed to skipping showers. I'd chuckle nicely and explain I preferred fresh garlic. She'd cock her head like that was odd. Derek would just grin, peck her cheek, and say she looked wonderful. He never once intervened or even noted that I was prepping meals for 5 instead of 2, while also playing host, tidying up, and fighting to stay alert for Monday calls. The guest room I'd envisioned as my yoga spot was gradually turning into their snooze zone. Your couch aggravates Glenn's back, Sandra noted after their third Sunday rest. The guest bed supports his alignment better. I bit my tongue. What could I say? Quit seeing your son? It seemed small-minded. Even so, a knot of silent irritation was building inside me. I started dreading the crunch of tires on the driveway. One evening after they departed, I mentioned softly to Derek, how about a peaceful weekend next time? Just the 2 of us? He glanced up from his phone, puzzled. What do you mean? I mean, well, it's been constant. I'd adore a Sunday free of critiques on my mashed potatoes. He chuckled. They mean well. Kimberly, seriously. You're reading too much into it. I was forever reading too much into it. That was my part, the thoughtful one. So, the next week, as we prepped dinner, I took another approach. Chopping bell peppers. I tossed it out casually. Hey, I was wondering if my parents could crash one night next month. Just a quick weekend. They haven't toured the house. He paused mid-motion for a beat. Your parents staying over? Only one night? We could whip up a meal together. Nothing fancy. He grimaced like I proposed an IRS nightmare. Kim, no offense, but your dad puts me on edge like a job interview. And your mom, I don't know. I'd have to perform. I stared. Perform? Yeah, courteous, careful with words, keeping chat going. I let the knife clunk harder than intended on the board. You mean act like a normal person? Don't spin it. I'm just saying I can't unwind around them. They're not as laid back as mine. That's when it hit me. In his view, my ease ranked lower. Or maybe it didn't even compute. You get that, I said. I've been entertaining your parents weekly, cooking for them, scrubbing their messes, enduring your mom's tips on folding towels right. And you figure one night has you performing? He stayed silent, just shrugged and resumed stirring. Later that week, returning from errands, I spotted 2 big rolling suitcases by the entry. Sandra popped into the hall with a bright grin. Hope it's okay. We decided to stay a few nights. Glenn's back is flaring again, and skipping the drives makes sense. I froze, keys dangling. A few nights? Just through Wednesday. Derek assured us it's no issue. When I tracked Derek to the kitchen, he behaved like all was normal. It's only a couple days. They're like that. And anyway, it's minor. Minor. My pulse hammered. I climbed to the guest room. The bed was already rumpled. Sandra's silk robe hung over the chair. Glenn's slippers waited by the door like he'd owned the place forever. I lingered, scanning the space that once felt like mine in a quiet way. The corner with eucalyptus hangs and candle glow, where I'd planned to restart journaling. Now it reeked of menthol rub and bargain aftershave. At dinner, Sandra wondered if I'd switch laundry soaps. Your lavender one's irritating Glenn's skin. Glenn chimed in, and the upstairs shower pressure's a tad strong. Can we tweak it? I forced a slim smile. Absolutely, I'll note it down. Then I eyed Derek across the table, who shoveled food as if nothing shifted. That night, I stared at the ceiling fan, sleepless. Their steps thumped in the hall. My mind raced. My body ached from bottling every urge I couldn't voice. Derek snored gently next to me. Between midnight and 2 a.m., it crystallized 2 paths. Keep being the perfect wife, the adaptable host, the welcome mat in chic loungewear, or slip away quietly and let the house welcome its biggest fans. I rolled over, grabbed my phone from the nightstand, and messaged one friend. Only one. Vanessa. Hey, that guest room still open? Instant reply. Always. No plan yet. But a switch flipped. I wasn't furious. Not quite. But I was finished. And oddly, Derek sensed zero change. Next morning, I brewed Derek's coffee his way, piping hot, dash of oat milk, and set it on the counter wordlessly. He missed that I'd skipped mine. Sandra was already in the kitchen, in my robe. Kimberly, got any chamomile tea that's less perfumey? My tummy's unsettled. I fetched it from the cabinet and passed it over, smile-free. Glenn wandered in soon, yawning big, and fired up the TV. Volume 39. I'd never felt like an intruder in my own space before. But now my steps were softer, tinier, as if I were the guest, tiptoeing to avoid bother. By Tuesday evening, Derek offhandedly said they'd extend through the weekend. Simpler since they're settled. No need to repack twice. I stared from the bathroom sink. They've been here 5 days. It's short term, right? He dodged my gaze. That night, I wrapped a UX redesign pitch from the upstairs office, now crammed with Sandra's craft stuff and Glenn's extra golf gear. I typed cross-legged on the bed corner while Sandra ironed beside me. My files littered the rug. Once, Glenn barged in Sans knock, asking for the HDMI cord. I didn't glance up. Check the TV stand drawer. After he went, Sandra queried, "You always burn the midnight oil?" I nodded, teeth clenched. Nights are calmer. You ought to set some limits, she advised, shaking out a towel. Balance is key. That's when I almost burst out laughing. Next day, as Derek and his folks headed to late brunch Sans invite for me, I rang Vanessa. "You sound 5 seconds from setting a cushion ablaze," she quipped. "Close. Come crash here." Vanessa paused, then whispered like eavesdroppers lurked. "Fine, complicate it. Get tactical. That's your specialty." "Tactical how?" She sketched a scheme. Ridiculous and spot on. That night, I told Derek my Portland aunt had slipped, fractured her wrist, no local help, so I had to assist a few days. He barely lifted eyes from his phone. "Driving or flying?" "Driving? Quicker." He shrugged. "Safe travels." Sandra and Glenn probed if I'd prepped meals before going. "Don't want to disrupt your kitchen routine," Sandra winked. I packed a single small bag. No luggage drama. Before exiting, I left one envelope on the nightstand. Inside, a brief handwritten note. "I'll be away a while. If you wanted room, here it is, Kimberly." No guilt. Vanessa greeted me at her door with wine and an about-time glance. Her place was cozy, not huge, but serene. I stationed my laptop on her guest table, struck a candle, and breathed deep for the first time in weeks. Back home, the quiet baffled Derek. He rang next morning. I sent to voicemail, then texted. Missed the last train. Staying extra day. Then another, then more. Day 5, a moving van rolled up. Sandra spotted it from the living room. Oh, must be Kimberly's delivery. 2 guys hopped out, lugging boxes marked Langford and master bedroom. Sandra flung open the door, baffled. "Pardon, what's this?" A mover passed a clipboard. "Sunrise Movers, ma'am. Order to install furniture. Address checks. Langford's?" Glenn appeared. "Yep, us." Movers nodded, hauling in Full mattress, dressers, recliner, cookware crates. Glenn gaped. Mix up Shirley. Mover tapped the sheet. Delivery for Glenn and Sandra. New home, 912 Silver Hill Lane. Sandra's jaw dropped, then shut. By Derek's return, guest room revamped, closet stuffed with their clothes, mailbox sticker under our names, adding theirs. He entered, keys clattered. What in the world? Sandra beamed. Thrilling, right? Kimberly offered the space while gone. We thought, since you're solo now, Glenn chimed. She even booked the movers. Sweet. Derek eyed the nightstand envelope. Same as mine. He tore it open again, hoping different. Nope. Called me. No pickup. Texted. Kimberly, seriously. Talk time. I replied hours later. Can't. You're occupied hosting. Enjoy. At Vanessa's, I cooked undisturbed. Lounge for a movie. Slept to 9. No hall flushes waking me. First week sans me. Derek texted, handled. Watch. 2 days on. Photo of half-baked lasagna. Chef Derek strikes. But week 2, tone shifted. Vacuum bag's location. Washer stinks odd. Normal? Your mom's roast chicken recipe? I ignored. Vanessa peeked at text. Wild how no biggie flips to save me. Sinking. Meanwhile, Sandra rang every other day. I answered once. Kimberly, dear, back soon? Why? House is yours. Well, Glenn and I thought temporary. Me too. She halted. Derek seems tense. Misses you. Silence from me. Unspoken. Derek was living my months of chaos, requests, no solitude, constant queries. 3 days later, his text, sorry. Tough. Didn't grasp your load. But added, their family. Can't boot them. That summed it. So I decided. Emailed a separation draft via Vanessa's lawyer pal. Not divorce yet, just firm line. The house. I'd covered most down payment. Mortgage joint, but land title mine. Derek had said no need for my name everywhere. It's shared. Now my win. He called morning after, frantic. Kimberly, what's this? Written boundary? Over a few weekends? Never just few, you know. Long silence. Then can't swing this solo. I know. Shaky exhale. You want me out? No, just if they stay, I don't. He pushed 2 more weeks. Begged mom cook. She balked. Dad fixed dishwasher. Ignored. Sandra skipped laundry. Not touching Kimberly's. Glenn stacked takeout in sink. Abandoned. Derek ate out. Fast food, then nuked meals. Quit reading my texts. Then breaking point. Overdrew joint account again. I locked the card. His furious call, I answered cool. Not your funds to burn while I'm not. Separated. You locked it. I rerouted deposit. You should too. He muttered curses. Then dropped it. Expected. Maybe sell house. Your call, I said. But I get first refusal. In papers. So, want it now? No option. You've got your pics residing. Click. Week later, alert. House listed. I viewed pics. Living room jammed with odd chairs, stale mags, Glenn's foot gizmo. Pristine kitchen sticky noted. Do not touch everywhere. 1 frame. Laundry heap on guest bed. Heart-wrenching and funny. Vanessa over shoulder. Craigslist single pad with mom-dad guards. And I once candled that bath. He sold low. Agent note. Eager seller, loose dates, small fixes. I skipped repurchase. Unneeded. Found cute rental townhouse. Basic. But balcony, soaking tub, no unasked entrance. Worked. Slept. Visited parents. Friend brunches. Folded only my laundry. Months later, cafe run-in with Derek's mutual pal. Didn't spot me first, said I glowed. Derek? Small shrug. With his folks now. Overwhelming. I nodded. Always was. Back at Vanessa's, we cheers to calm. She eyed me regrets. Paused. Not leaving earlier. She grinned. Draft divorce. Done. Glasses clinked. House vanished. Burden lifted. I'd escaped more than bricks. I'd broken a cycle. Months on, Sandra's voicemail. Coffee? Chat. Deleted unheard. Peace can mean empty spots. Quiet tones. Waking solo in your space. And truly inhaling.